Hello everyone. Today I want to talk about one of the core traits of every Smash Bros. Character, their special moves. Some are fast, some are crazy, some are silly, and some of them are very strong. That will be the focus today. I'll be showcasing the top 10 strongest special moves in Smash Bros. Ultimate. To be more specific, I'll be looking at how much percentage each of these super beefy moves racks up. Before we dive in, there are a few rules I want to lay down for this list. Rule number 1. Kirby's absorbed abilities do not count, since he can't perform any of these without first inhaling an opponent. But for the record, almost every single one of Kirby's neutral special variants are stronger than the original move it's based on. Rule number 2. If the special move can be easily escaped, such as Piranha Plant's Poison Breath, it also does not count, as it's highly unlikely a scenario like this would ever play out. Rule number 3. Counters and reflectors are not eligible for the list. This is because the damage output when countering or reflecting is solely dependent on the attack the opponent is using, so the damage it does varies heavily. The exception would be if the special move, like a reflector, deals enough damage on its own to make the list. Spoiler, it doesn't. Rule number 4. I'm considering each of Hero's command selection abilities to be separate special moves. Since each command is so unique, it essentially houses 21 special moves in one input. Okay, just one more rule. If a character can buff themselves, like with Shulk's Buster Art or Incineroar's Revenge, it cannot be used for their other special moves. The main reason for this is because I wanted to look at these moves within a vacuum, with the question being, how much damage can each move do on its own? Alright, I think that's good enough. Oh, I guess I should clarify that these percentages are based on results I found in training mode with the 1v1 multiplier. So let's start off at the bottom of the list and work our way up. Kicking off the list is Min Min with her side special, Punch. This is kind of a weird one since it's basically a smash attack, but also technically not. There are 3 versions of this move, changing depending on which arm she has equipped to her special button. If she has the Megawatt equipped, a fully charged side special has the potential to inflict 40.5% damage. If her foe is a bit too close or too far, the damage isn't quite as hefty, but still packs a punch. Get it? There are several characters sitting at number 9 with a surprising 4-way tie between Hero, Little Mac, Ike, and Kirby, with all of their moves dealing a meaty 42% damage. Hero makes it in with Hatchet Man, which can be found within his down special command selection. The windup for this move is kinda slow, but that doesn't keep it from being scary. Little Mac slips in with his KO uppercut, which can be unleashed with his neutral special once his power meter is filled up. Performing this on the ground can really turn the tides of a match, although using this attack in the air is far less rewarding. Ike provides some heavy firepower with his fully charged neutral special, Eruption. There are 3 pillars of fire this move conjures, with the closest pillar to Ike being the strongest. Kirby floats in by using his side special, Hammer Flip. When fully charged on the ground, this move will absolutely demolish his opponents. The real trick is landing it. Its slow speed certainly doesn't make things easy. Coming in at number 8 is Peach, who just barely edges out the previous characters with her down special, Vegetable. Normally, when using this move, Peach pulls out a turnip. However, there's an extremely small chance that she'll instead pull out a Bob-omb. The damage this bomb inflicts varies depending on many different factors, like throwing it while standing still or while dashing. The highest damage amount I saw was 42.1%, so we'll just go with that. The chance Peach will actually pull out this bomb is less than 1%, but when it does happen, it'll instantly strike fear into anyone on the battlefield. And obviously, all of this also applies to Daisy, since she's an echo of Peach. Next up is Hero with his second move on this list, his fully charged side special, Kazap. Not only does this move deal a little over 45% damage, but it also sports super armor, meaning Hero won't be knocked out of it so easily. At the same time, it also costs 42 MP, which is almost half of his max 100. But if you can pull it off, it's more than worth the investment. This next move might give you a feeling of despair. It's Sephiroth's fully charged neutral special, Giga Flare. The damage it inflicts sits at a clean 47%. When compared to the lesser charged variants of this move, it basically trades range for blast radius and, of course, damage. Because of its massive radius, it's perfect for setting up ledge traps or spamming in free-for-alls, fishing for some KOs. Be careful though, this move can be reflected, which turns the tables on just who is feeling that despair in the end. We have another tie at number 5 between Ganondorf and King Dedede, with both of their moves dealing a big ol' 48%. Ganondorf, as expected, makes it into this list with his reversed air Warlock Punch. The funny thing about this one is Ganondorf doesn't get enough height from his jumps alone to pull off this move before landing. You'd either need a high enough platform to jump off of, or to make this easier to show off, I'll use a freaking jetpack. Performing the move on the ground is still really strong, just not quite as mighty. King Dedede earns his spot with his fully charged down special, Jet Hammer. The nice thing about this move, aside from being insanely strong, is that Dedede can move around and jump while charging it, and it grants Dedede some heavy armor, allowing him to resist some weaker blows during the swing. Unfortunately, this move does lose a bit of its power when let loose in the air. Oh, and don't even bother shielding against this move at max charge. It'll eat through it instantly. For the third time, Hero makes it on this list, once again with another of his command selection moves, this time being Magic Burst. Using this move completely depletes Hero's MP meter, and the higher MP he has when using this move, the stronger it'll be. When at max MP, this move can inflict a ridiculous 58.5%. This would of course require him to land every possible hit with the move. It's not unblockable, so there's a little relief there for any opposing player. Hero also remains vulnerable during this attack, so projectiles are a viable option to knock him out of it. But let's be real, that doesn't make it any less intimidating. Our boy Roy finally makes his appearance with his iconic, fully charged, one-hit KO neutral special, Flair Blade. Getting the full charge takes pretty long, so the odds of actually pulling this off, especially in a 1v1 atmosphere, are extremely slim. But if you do ever manage to land it, you'll inflict a super high 60%, as well as flat out KOing the opponent. Just make sure the opponent is within that KO range, because the outer explosion of the move doesn't hit nearly as hard. Just barely beating out Roy's Flair Blade is the fourth and final move from Hero, which is unsurprisingly pulled once again from his command selection, this time being Kamikaze. With this move, Hero literally kills himself. In doing so, there's a massive explosion, and anyone caught in it is in for a bad time. It doesn't just inflict 60.1%, but it's also unblockable, so don't even think about pulling up your shield. Getting caught in the blast from a further distance is weaker, but that's not saying much when it's still around 40%. I guess the plus side is that if an opposing hero is on their last stock, they just handed you the win. Sitting proudly at the number 1 spot is Ridley, with his down special, Skewer. Landing a hit on his opponent with this move at the sweet spot does an absurd 66% damage. The big drawback to this move is that, well, it's pretty hard to pull off in the heat of battle. You need very precise positioning, and if you're not landing that sweet spot, it's a pathetic blow, going way down into just a single digit of damage. But man, if you get your spacing just right, you'll be feeling really good about that. If it weren't for the slow startup, this move would be a heck of a lot scarier. It also isn't exactly a threat to shields, so your opponent is in no trouble choosing to just block it. Well, that's a wrap. Technically, there were more than just 10 moves since we had some ties in there, but it was a pretty diverse list outside of Hero popping up several times. Anyway, that's all from me. Were there any moves that surprised you? Feel free to leave your comments below. You can also find all of my social links like Twitter and Twitch in the video description. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you again soon. Catch you later.